Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the All Elite Week. For this episode we'll be going over the Dynamite 29th of August episode, the Rampage 31st of August episode, and the Collision September 1st episode. Now you may be wondering why I'm holding this prestigious 2.9 belt today. That's because I won the Predictions Championship at Bash at Berlin recently. You can go watch our review now that it's up. And I will be defending it this weekend as well at the All Out pay-per-view 2, where we do a prediction, which is recorded tomorrow, probably uploaded on Friday or Saturday, I imagine. Yeah, if you want to watch those, they'll be up soon. All are already up. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. With Dynamite on the 29th, I'm going to put this title down. Hold it the whole episode through. Anyway, Dynamite. Jon Moxley returns. That's how the show starts off. We hear Wild Thing. Everyone cheers. He gets in the ring with Tony Schiavone to have a conversation with him. Essentially just says that he hasn't been feeling good recently and that things need to get done. And then also calls out Darby Allin as well. Until he eventually ends it with the big angle coming from all of this saying, "This isn't your company anymore." I don't know if he's mixed up Tony Schiavone with Tony Khan. They are both called Tony. Not sure about that, but we'll find out later, I assume, when we hear more from him at some point. After this, we have a conglomeration and Hook interview with Renee, where Mark Briscoe talks about what's to come for the night and also asks what the stipulation will be for All Out with Willow. Willow and Chris, where Willow answers with a Chicago street fight. Obviously, if you've been on Twitter, you know all of this. Been announced already. Anyway, after this, we have a Hangman Adam Page versus Tomohiro Ishii match. Oh my god. Amazing match. Really, really fun. Starts out super hot already. Both of them just doing heavy strikes to each other for like 2 minutes straight. Until Hangman eventually breaks this. Charges Ishii. But then Ishii returns this with a charge, sending Hangman down until he jumps up. They do like a little stare down spot and then begin chopping each other. Pretty much it's neither person backing down. They're just striking each other all the time, all throughout. Really, really sick. One like awesome part of the match was Hangman doing like a DDT onto the apron, where Ishii somehow gets caught in the ropes, and so his body just goes upside down, straight up. His head on the apron, and then his feet in the ropes. It looked so funny. He like full on penciled a DDT, which is great. But then following this, we then have at some point later on in the match, you have Ishii and Hangman on the top turnbuckle. Ishii headbutts Hangman, and then hits a superplex from the top rope for a 2 count. Really, really nice. Hangman then, after a little bit, hits a Death Valley driver. Although Ishii just gets up and hits a German suplex to counter as they both then start striking elbows as they go down again. Great set of counters after this. Then both do like heavy rolling strikes where sort of like a discus strike pretty much. Which ends in a suplex to Ishii from Hangman. Later on in the match, we then get the buckshot lariat, tried anyway, but eventually gets caught into a deadeye, and then into a lariat of his own from Ishii for the 2.9. Really, really close. After this, you get more heavy strikes, more headbutts, more clotheslines, until Hangman hits a deadeye to put Ishii down for a minute. Then after this, he then wins the match with the buckshot lariat, following that deadeye I just said for the 3 count in. Amazing match. Really, really fun. It's these two in a match. It's going to be a good match. I don't know what do you want me to say, other than great match. After this match, though, Swerve comes out saying that he feels sorry for Hangman, calls him a child. That every tantrum that you throw as he gets further away from success as Swerve gets closer to it. Hangman loses it, calls him a piece of shit. They wrestled 3 times. Hangman could never beat, and he could never beat Hangman alone, and that Swerve is not as good as him. Swerve announces then a steel cage match All Out. Pretty much that's essentially the main focus of the promo that steel cage match announces. And then he finishes it before ending with him asking Hangman who he will be in the cage, what kind of man he'll be, and what kind of person he'll be showing to his kids. As Hangman doesn't say a word in response and just leaves the arena, just walks straight out. After this, we have Jamie Hayter's return match. Yes, against Haley Cameron with Saraya. Have welcome back chants as Harley blindsides Jamie. Then Hayter after this starts unleashing a barrage of strikes and kicks to Harley. Hayter hits 3 backbreakers to Harley and then hits the Hayter raid for the 3 count, and pretty much just a squash match essentially. As Saraya is just absolutely terrified. Obviously Saraya being the one to take her out of injury. Saraya hides behind Harley and then throws Harley at Hayter before running into the crowd and running away. Next up, we have a Learning Tree and Roddy Strong interview with Renee, where Renee asks Big Bill about the reception of the UK, and Bill says that opinions change like leaves in fall and autumn. Just around the corner, so things are going to get more colourful later on. Don't know what the fuck that means, to be honest. Like, even writing it down now, I don't know what that means, and I didn't know what it meant afterwards. Like when I was watching it beforehand. But I don't know what to tell you for that one, genuinely. Then Jericho says that Hook beat him after learning everything from him. He says pretty much wants to congratulate Hook, essentially. Roddy then asks for help with Carl by getting rid of Cassidy. And Jericho says that Cassidy owes him $7,000 for a jacket he ruined 3 years ago and that they'll pay the price. Next up, we have a MJF segment where he comes out full grey suit this time, no America gimmick, it's dead and buried. And he has like tape on his neck as well, like the injury tape to sell the tremendous pain and splitting headache that he does. And pretty much just tells the crowd to shut up. Lost his ring, lost his title, and has 2 herniated discs in his spine. Nobody had his back while he defended his country. And then denounced his citizenship and wants to do nothing to do with the shithole country, as the only place that matters is Long Island, New York. AEW without MJF is a circus. MJF says it's not over with Will after Will cheated, and that as soon as Will is about to etch his name in the history books by winning the world title, MJF will cut out his knees with a smile. Really, really good end to that promo, to be honest. MJF then calls out Garcia. Garcia runs in from the crowd to attack MJF and then chokes out MJF with the guillotine. Garcia is about to hit the tombstone, but stops and then goes to the ropes. He then goes to the ropes to do a avalanche tombstone, just like the move that took out Garcia that MJF did just after Dynasty. Security comes out to save MJF, but MJF blindsides Garcia. Both men trade blows then, as Garcia gets MJF up on the opposite side until Christopher Daniels and security come in to stop them as they pin Garcia to the ropes. MJF tries to get back into the ring after this, but security stops him. Garcia says he pawned off the ring to go to London to ruin MJF's night. And then Garcia says that his mother had to watch him get wheeled out in a stretcher, and that ruining MJF's life is all Garcia can think about at this point. He then announces MJF Garcia all out. Garcia says nothing will do but breaking MJF's neck, and that anyone who's with Max will suffer with him, as he throws the mic, and it hits Max straight on the head from the fucking ring to the stage. Great throw, honestly. It was really, really good throw. Yeah, really excited for this match. We seemingly, because we're getting this, I assume that means that he is signed a contract with AEW, I assume. I haven't seen anything or heard anything about it, so if it is confirmed and I just haven't seen it, my bad, I'm sorry. But hopefully this means that he is officially with AEW again. But moving on, we have a Mariah May segment next with Tony Schiavone, where Tony keeps getting distracted by Mariah, pretty much where she just takes off her robe to show the belt, show herself as a new champion. Nothing really much in it, to be honest. We then have a Grizzled Young Veteran segment with the Young Bucks backstage, where the Grizzled Young Veterans make their intentions for the belt and the tag division known, and they also announce a match with the Outrunners on Rampage, which we'll be talking about soon. After this, there's a Takeshita hype package as he won, where Takeshita versus Mortos versus Commander and Leo Rush. It's a match that is announced on Rampage. Oh my god. Just wait until I get to that match. So good. Jesus Christ. But anyway, talk about good matches. Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher. Ricochet's TV debut for AEW and against Kyle Fletcher. What a dream match this is. I love Kyle Fletcher. Ricochet's awesome, and they put on a great match. Where Kyle, at the beginning of the match, hits a great Tope Suicida. Ricochet then hits a Meteora from the barricade as Kyle tries, flying over. So basically, Kyle has thrown Ricochet over the barrier, so Ricochet's out with the fans. And then as Kyle is running towards the barrier to jump over it, to do a dive to get him, Ricochet jumps up onto the barrier and then meteors him from there. Really, really cool move looking. And then does the suck it taunt on the floor afterwards, Ricochet does, after hitting it. Following this, Ricochet hits a great Northern Lights later on and then drags up Fletcher into a suplex from the ground. Insane strength for him to do that. And then Ricochet hits a Death Valley Driver for the 2. And then eventually wins shortly after this with the Vertigo suplex. I can't really remember what it looked like. I just know it's called a Vertigo. Then Ospreay then comes out, but before Ospreay can say a word, Pac runs out from the tunnel, which you can actually see him in the shot behind Ospreay looking at the tunnel, which is quite funny, waiting for his moment. Runs out behind him, hits a Poison Rana onto the stage, grabs the mic and tells Ospreay not to forget about the bastard Pac. And then Pac welcomes Ricochet and tells him to get back in the line. Really just... I cannot wait for this All Out. All Out just such an amazing card, man. It just looks incredible, top to bottom. But after this, we then hear more from Moxley. Well, we see more from Moxley, where he has a segment backstage where a cameraman asked what he meant earlier, as Marina Shafir comes in and obliterates 3 staff members. Where Moxley eventually finishes it with him pointing to the staff and saying a lesson in humility needs to be learned, essentially. Next up, we have our final segment for the show, which is a Bryan Danielson segment where he addresses the future. Basically says that Birdie said that Birdie, his daughter, said that the All-In match was the best day of her life. Bryan calls it his favourite moment of his career as he starts to cry with "Thank you, Bryan" chants. His contract expired August 1st. He needs new neck surgery. New neck surgery? He needs neck surgery, not new neck surgery. Sooner than later, and his family is ready for him to come home now. The fact that AEW exists makes his life and pro wrestling better, which is true. All people need to see it that way. And that he will not retire as champ, announcing that when he does lose the belt, that will be the end of his full-time wrestling career, and that will be his new retirement match whenever he does lose it. Great stipulation for this title run. I love it so much. It makes it so unique, stands out immediately as something different from all the other title runs, makes it special as well, like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. Yeah. Love that stipulation. He says it won't be soon, though, as he still has a lot of heads to kick in, and calls for anybody to come out for a shot at All Out. Jack Perry then appears on screen. Perry says that Bryan doesn't know his future, but Perry knows his, and he had to create his own future as he attacked Tony, injured Kenny Omega, won the TNT title, and then beat Darby Allin. His future is to retire the American Dragon and to be the world champion. Bryan's future is behind him. As he says this, Perry then attacks Bryan from behind, blindsiding him, and then Perry hits the running knee and grabs both the TNT title and the AEW World Champion belt and holds them high over Danielson, like the arm stretched out pose that he does. Really, really fun segment. I am really excited for this match. I've seen quite a lot of like discourse about it on Twitter for some reason, as if people aren't aware that Jack Perry delivers on every pay-per-view he's ever been on. Like, it's hard to find a bad Jack Perry match on a pay-per-view. He just comes alive for them. So I don't really know what the hate is. I mean, sure, people don't like him much, but like, he's really good. Moving on, we now have the Rampage August 31st episode, which opens up with a Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal match versus Private Party versus Matt Taven and Mike Bennett in a three-way tag match. Nothing much to say about this. It was okay. I've only got like two things noted down. One of which is Quinn takes flight to take down Mike and Matt on the floor from the top rope. Then Jay tries Jay Lethal tries 4 figure fours, but is counted each time while doing the woo Ric Flair mention. After this, Quinn gets the 2 after a beautiful 450 splash that gets broken up by Mike Bennett. And then Jeff Jarrett gets Matt Taven, and Jay Lethal gets Mike Bennett in the figure 4 separately as they hold Mike Bennett and Matt Taven hold their hands to stop them from tapping until both members eventually tap out at the same time, giving Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett the win. Quite a fun finish. Alright match as well, nothing really bad about it. Following this, we get a Takeshita hype package, and then after the adverts come back, we then get a Mortos hype package as well for the main event of the night. Next up, we have a Mina Shirakawa versus Misa Kate match where Mina uses all 3 corner ropes for a jumping enziguri, which is then followed by a frog splash for the 2, and eventually Mina wins with the driver. I don't know what her finisher is called, sorry. Probably should have gone back to go and watch it again, but I just didn't have time to. So I'm sorry, it's her finisher. Whatever the finisher is, that it's like a driver. She wins with that one in like 2 minutes. After this, we have a Chris Statlander and a Stokely Hathaway segment where they basically say that Willow surrounded herself with the lowest of the low of AEW, being the conglomeration. The only street Willow gets is Justin Bieber with Ludacris. And Stokely brings a crew member out, shouts at him for shaking his head the whole time, and so Chris takes him out with a chain and calls for the death of the friendship at All Out. Really excited for this match. Gonna be a great match, guaranteed, with these two. And now that it's like a street fight as well, they both love doing street fights, and they're both really good at them. So, should be really good. After this, we have the grizzled young veterans of Zach Gibson and James Drake going up against the Outrunners of Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum with Erica Lee as like their manager. There isn't really much to say about this match. It was a good match. There isn't a lot happening. Gibson shouts continuously at Turbo, calling them a joke of a team. Then Zach Gibson holds Truth up outside of the ring as Drake jumps over the top rope and hits the leg drop onto the backbreaker to the outside. Kind of like, so he's got Truth Magnum over his leg, and then James Drake like jumps over the rope to do a leg drop and the backbreaker at the same time, if that makes sense. Amazing tag team moves between Grizzly Young Veterans so far, as they just like quickly and subtly tag each other in for seamless control of the ring. Gibson holds down Turbo as Drake hits an enziguri, which is quite nice. And then Grizzly Young Veterans win the match with the Doomsday device, where Gibson gets Truth up in a electric chair position, as Drake then hits a flying clothesline to demolish Truth. After this, they do a high-low combination for the 3 count, and that combination of 2 moves gets them the win with the Doomsday device and the high-low as well. They then call out the champions after this. It's just like a little promo. Nothing much to say about it. Speaking of nothing much to say, we've got nothing much to say until the main event, really, because there's a Commander hype package, a Nyla Rose versus Amina Belmont match, where Nyla just wins with a spinning beast bomb in like less than a minute, and then a Leah Rush hype package, and now we're in the main event. So, there isn't really much to say, to be honest, other than that. The main event being Takeshita versus Lio Rush versus the Beast Mortos versus Commander, with Don Carlos on commentary, and also Alex the Hype Man. I don't know his last name, sorry. I know he's called Alex. Being ringside with Commander. So the match, really fun match. Starts off with Takeshita and Mortos challenging each other to beat Commander and Lio Rush down, like, respectively. Like, who can beat up the other guy better, pretty much. Lio and Commander then work together to stop these two and dive out, but each gets caught and is squished between each other as Takeshita and Mortos charge while holding them both in, like, a not a fireman's carry. The one where it's, like, over your face, like that, pretty much. Holding them like that, over their chest. Later on in the match, Commander walks the rope and dives off to take out Lio and Takeshita, as Mortos then hits a tornado dive of his own to take out Commander. The spinning one that he does through the ropes looks really good. Lio and Commander try to suplex Takeshita, but Takeshita reverses it on both of them, doing the double suplex move. After this, Takeshita then launches Lio into the corner so hard that Lio literally collapses, like, through the middle rope. It looked fucking gnarly. It was so cool. Mortos then gets in and they start getting into a striking match with Takeshita. After this, Mortos hits an amazing lungbuster to Commander as Takeshita runs in and they clothesline each other down. Later on in the match, Commander grabs Mortos on the top rope, but Takeshita grabs both of them and hits a superplex into a Spanish fly. So Takeshita does a suplex onto Mortos, and then Takeshita hits a superplex onto Commander, and then at the same time, Commander is holding Mortos, going into a Spanish fly at the same time. That's the move. Takeshita goes to the pin after this, but Lio breaks it up with the splash at 2. Following this, Commander hits a top rope springboard Poison Rana to Mortos, who kicks out at 2. Lio hits 2 Tope Suicidas to Mortos outside, tries to frog splash Commander, who dodges, leaving Lio open to a spear from Mortos. But this doesn't get him the win, as Takeshita comes in and hits the blue Thunder Bomb, and then a deadlift Falcon Arrow to Commander to get the 3 count. Really sick finish. And just a great match in general. Really fun. But following that, we have Collision on September 1st, where it opens up with a Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and hologram match versus the Beast Mortos, Johnny TV, and Lee Moriarty, with Shane Taylor from Shane Taylor Productions, and Lima Valkyrie being ringside. To be honest, this is a nothing match. Which really sucks, because Lee Moriarty and Mortos are so cool and so good in the ring, and then Johnny TV is so washed, man. He's not good anymore. He's so slow. Anyway, I digress. Kyle and Cassidy check to see if hologram is real by, like, poking him, which is quite fun. I've even got in my notes, Johnny TV is washed. Didn't even read that part before I said it. Anyway, there's a beautiful pinning combination at the beginning from Moriarty and hologram. Every member gets each other in a chokehold except Mortos, who just ends up charging into the end of it. So they've all got, like, they're all jumping on each other, doing a sleeper hold until Mortos just charges in the last of them, which happens to be Cassidy. After this, Mortos hits a tornado dive, but only manages to hit his own members. Kyle then hits a running punt kick to Mortos. After that, and then hologram hits a beautiful splash to the outside to take him down. Hologram springboards towards Mortos later on, but gets caught into a spear, which looks fucking gnarly and amazing. Although it doesn't help him much, because hologram gets the win with a crucifix pin after hitting an avalanche Spanish fly. Kyle is still trying to see if he's real or not. I've just realised I haven't written down who he pinned. and I cannot remember. It was probably Johnny T. Let's be honest. He's out of everyone in that match, he's the one that's going to get pinned. Anyway, next up we have a Bang Bang Gang versus Premier Athletes match with the lawyer Mark Sterling coming out as well. I have one line in this, and that's it. And it is Mark Sterling distracts Colton Gunn as Tony Nese runs behind, but Colton gets out of the way, sending him straight into the lawyer in like a suicide dive kind of thing. Colton then wins it with the Gunn Brothers tag finisher that I can't remember the name of, sorry. I know it's not famous because that's their singles one, so I don't know. It was a nothing match anyway, we don't need to know it, it doesn't matter. Next up we have a Hikaru Shida hype package, very similar in the way that this show is set up to the Rampage one, where there'll be a 4-way main event in the women's division. So we get a Hikaru Shida hype package here. Then following this, we have an FTR versus the Undisputed Kingdom match, where they were decent. It was okay. Cash and Dax hit 3 German suplexes to both members of the Kingdom as Dax hits Mike Bennett with another one, followed by a Cash Wheeler Bridge for the 2.9. 2.9. Bennett hits the Death Valley Driver into the Taven Punk kick for the 2. Then FTR eventually hit Bennett with the Shatter Machine as Dax gets Taven up to the top rope and hits a superplex, followed by a splash from Cash for the 3 count. That's how short the match was. I have 2 lines of notes on it. The other notes I've got on it is that Grizzled Young Veterans come out to attack FTR again. Drake says that AEW is where the best wrestler, and that's why they're there. This is twice now they've taken out the legends that they've been forced to live in the shadows of for years, after being compared to FTR all of this time. Pretty much just saying they've had enough and making intentions known. You know what? I would take a Crystal Young Veterans FTR match at All Out. That would be so good. Oh my god. I really want that now, because that would just be a great match. After this, we have the Thunder Rosa hype package for her match later on tonight. And then a Lance Archer segment where he smashes people against lockers while saying everybody dies again. He just kills people every week, man. He's great. I love him. Top Flight with Action Andretti and Leah Rush and Layla Gray coming out as well. Take on the Iron Savages and Turbo Floyd of the Outrunners. And Jack Jameson with Truth Magnum of the Outrunners at ringside. This is our next match. Nothing match again. The match starts out with all the Iron Savages immediately tagging themselves in off of Turbo Floyd. Pretty much just stopping him from entering to the point where Jameson saves Darius to stop Turbo from being in the match. All 4 members of Top Flight have to work together to suplex Boulder. It's quite a cool little spot. But then eventually Dante gets the win with the I don't know the name of the splash, but he does like this like basketball break the ankles dribbling sort of move in midair when he does the splash. So it's that one, whatever that's called. I don't know. Sorry. Honestly, I don't know a lot of these moves specifically on these shows for some reason. But anyway, we next up have a Lexi interview with Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb, where Aminata says she's been scouting and she's wrestled all 3 this year. And then Serena then says the same thing, except that she's won all 3 matches against their opponents this year. And then Deeb suggests teaming up after Aminata starts getting angry at her. Next up, we have another amazing match. Who would have guessed it? It's another Kyle Fletcher match and Tomohiro Ishii match. It's Kyle Fletcher with Don Callis on commentary versus Tomohiro Ishii once again. The match starts with just a barrage of elbow strikes from each other and just no selling. This goes on for like a minute long. It was fucking sick. Really, really fun. Kyle eventually starts slowing down. It begins to lose momentum until he kicks the midsection of Tomohiro Ishii. After this, a bit later on into the match, when Kyle Fletcher is on the apron, he plays possum, then hits an absolutely massive brainbuster onto the apron that Ishii just sells really, really well. Like, he just dies. It's great. It's so good. Kyle hits a Tope Suicida later on and completely just wipes out Ishii. Both men get right back up after a suplex and hit a discus forearm and then a discus lariat respectively, until Kyle eventually hits a deadlift powerbomb until both men collapse onto the mat. Kyle hits a nice looking lone dart into the corner, and then Ishii hits a top rope Hurricane Rana in response, with his legs hooked as well, which is quite interesting, which not many people are able to do. So it's really cool just seeing he's the one to do it. Kyle then hits a tombstone for literally 2.99. It cannot be any closer than that. And then another tombstone for the eventual 3 count, getting the win over Ishii in a great, great match. Next up, we have a Queen Aminata hype package, followed by a Pac interview with Lexi, where Pac just says that he isn't content with just having his Wembley moment. He's done waiting, and he announces a match on Dynamite with the BCC against Ospreay, Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly. Then following this, we have a Buddy Matthews vs. Commander match with Alex the Hype Man once again at ringside. Really nice to see Buddy Matthews in a singles match again after he got injured. Really cool to see him back. Commander reverses a powerbomb at some point that Buddy tries to do, sending Buddy out of the ring, and then springboards to a punt kick to knock Buddy down. Then Commander tries a suicide dive, but is caught and gets slammed straight down to the ground. Later on into the match, we have a few chops in front of the fans, where he puts him up against the barricade and chops him. Buddy chopping Commander, sorry. And then hits a absolutely massive backbreaker onto the apron, which looked horrid to take. There's then some fast kicks and counters from Commander, ending in a poison Rana into a suicide dive, which looked really, really nice sequence, really fun. Buddy follows this by catching Commander with a big knee, and then a slam, eventually, to get the win a bit later on into the match. Brody King comes out after to celebrate with him, and then Maximum Male Models, Marseille and Mansoor, my golden boys, they congratulate them too on the big screen on the Tron and say that next week is Fashion Week, and announces that it's Friday night fashion fight with the House of Black taking on Maximum Male Models. I can't wait for that match. It's going to be so fucking good. I'm so excited. Please give them the tag titles. I would love nothing more. We have the final hype package following this until our main event of a Serena Deeb hype package. So that leads nicely then into the main event of Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb versus Queen Aminata versus Thunder Rosa. Fatal 4-way match. Okay match. I feel like kind of underwhelming a little bit for who's in this match, but regardless, a few notes of point is that Serena Deeb has Thunder Rosa in a octopus hold, I think it's called. But Shida breaks it up with a great looking running knee. Thunder Rosa and Shida work together to suplex Deeb, but then is saved by Aminata, who then helps Deeb suplex Shida and Rosa as they nod each other to work together, seemingly Aminata accepting the proposal earlier. Aminata hits Shida and Rosa with a hip attack and a running knee, respectively, as they lie in each corner, so opposite sides of the ring. She hits one with a hip attack, hits the other with a hip attack, and then does the sidelong running knee where she goes through the ropes as well. Looks incredible every time she does it. She's really, really good at it. Following this, a little bit later on, Rosa hits a great looking Hurricane Rana from the top rope to Shida, then hits the Death Valley Bomb for the 2.9, with Deeb just barely getting there in time to save the match. Serena Deeb has Thunder Rosa in a single Boston Crab later on. Aminata proceeds to kick Deeb down and ends it with a headbutt, and is then rolled up by Shida for the 2.9. It's worth noting out, at this point in the match, Serena Deeb has also stopped Aminata from winning. I believe it was from the hip attack part. I could be wrong though. Shida then, following this roll-up, gets the win by unsheathing the katana, and that signals for her to get the match at All Out against Mercedes Mone for the TBS Championship. real graps are returning to my TV screen. None of this Brick Breaker DMD nonsense. Let's go. Yeah, that's Collision, that's Rampage, and that's Dynamite. Altogether, really, it's hard to say. It had really good matches on like each of the shows, but it also had like just a lot of nothing on each of the shows as well. Except Dynamite. Dynamite was just really fun the whole way through, to be honest. I'd watch all of Dynamite. Even the Harley Cameron match, because it's only like 5 minutes anyway, so it's like whatever. Yeah, it's really fun segments all throughout that. Rampage, I mean, you can skip probably the opener and the Mina Shirakawa match. The Outrunners with the Young Veterans I'd watch, so that was quite fun. Nyla Rose, Amina, nothing match. The 4-way at the end, though, definitely check that out. Really, really fun. The opener for Collision, again, even though I love all of them in here, except for TV, I would just say skip it. It's not worth your time. Same with the Bang Bang Gang for Supreme Athletes, just nothing really happens. FTR and Disputed Kingdom, it's okay. If you like them, you can watch them. If not, I'd just avoid it, probably. The Iron Savages Top Flight match, again, just avoid it, probably. But the Carl Fletcher Tomohiro Ishii match, definitely go watch that. Really, really fun match. Just they're really building Carl Fletcher to be this top guy, and I love it. I think he's incredible. Future world champion. He should probably have some kind of title shot now, really, going into All Out, I imagine. At least I really hope he does get one. I would absolutely love to see him take on Okada at All Out. That would be really, really fun. The Buddy Matthews Commander match, that's worth watching as well. That was really fun. And then the women's main event, Fatal 4-Way on Collision, also worth watching. But that's enough from me. Let me know also if you want me to, because I've been thinking of, I might split up this into 3 episodes rather than just one big episode, and do like each one's like respectively. So you have Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision as their own separate episode that you can just, if you don't care about Rampage or Collision, you can just watch Dynamite cover up, not cover up. That's the wrong word. Dynamite catch up is what I meant to say there, or the Rampage catch up, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so let me know, please, if you would like that. Also, don't forget to watch the predictions video that will be coming out near the weekend. See what I pick to defend this prestigious belt that I won off Noah recently. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you had a great day and enjoy your All Elite week.